coffee shops, on the coffee shops in Holland at the minute, because obviously there is a current trial that it's taken a good few years to get off the ground, but it
Yeah,
is currently functioning in, and forgive my pronunciation, is it Breda and is it Tilburg?
yeah, that's not bad. Breda and Tilburg, not bad.
Sweet, sweet. All right, cool. I saw recently you did a recording with some of the people involved in one of the coffee shops that's doing the direct comparison. So for
Yeah,
people that don't, actually, I'm not even going to tell you. I'll let yourself tell these wonderful people what's going on up there, if you don't mind.
yeah. So in the Netherlands, the situation has always been, or always for the last 40, 50 years, that you can buy weed in the coffee shop, but the coffee shop is not allowed to purchase that weed because it's not allowed to be grown anywhere, which is kind of weird because where the hell does it come from then? Magic lands. Anyway, um, some a little bit smarter people in the government thought it might be a good idea to start experimenting with legal grow because we see cannabis being legalized all over the world. We saw an influx of imported cannabis into the Netherlands because all this legal weed and legal facilities made beautiful weed that eventually ended up here because the quality was way better and price was way better. And cracking down on the Dutch growers did not help quality in coffee shops at all because the imported weed often comes with mold. It's sometimes grown in bad environments with pesticides and that type of stuff. We had things from Eastern Europe come in that were it's borderline cancerous, and you don't want that.
Mhm.
Uh, Also, we see everywhere in the world they're legalizing cannabis, and like multiple countries in Europe want to legalize cannabis as well. Only problem is though the EU and the UN don't allow us to, as
Mhm.
long as we don't do it for research purposes. So some smart people thought it might be a good idea to research what happens if we allow legally grown weed to be sold in coffee shops. Smart thinking.
Mhm.
So there's now an experiment where there were 10 growers selected from like a list of hundreds and hundreds of people that applied for a license. 10 licenses were given out, and those 10 people or 10 companies were supposed to grow weed for coffee shops in 10 selected cities in the Netherlands. And now we've come to a point where it was all taking way too long because it's, for example, very hard to get a good location. Bless you. To get a good location for to grow weed or to get a bank account as a cannabis company in the Netherlands. So um, we got to a point where only one of the 10 selected growers was already harvesting weed, and the other nine is still hoping to get a bank account, hoping to start building soon, hoping to find
Mhm.
a spot to start building soon. And so a few cities, Breda and Tilburg, and one of that grower that was already pushing out weed, um, they plead with the government to start early. Please let us start to sell this weed that we've been harvesting. And the city's been are ready for us. Let's go. So the government decided that if three of the 10 growers were ready, then two of these cities could be supplied with legal weed already. So now we're actually in some sort of free phase of the actual experiment where two cities of the 10 are supplied by three growers out of 10. And this is because the growers are not on full capacity yet. You got to understand that the first drop of cannabis from the two growers that came in last, um, because the other one was already growing for a while, as I said. Um, so this weed was bad or not up to the standard that you would expect from a legal grower, because one of them was growing it outdoors without a light even.
Mm.
You know, the other one was growing it in a greenhouse with a few lights, but had genetics that had to be taken down early to be able to get the deadline for the coffee shop.
Mm.
So imagine the quality that's been going around these coffee shops. And then what also doesn't help is the fact that um, coffee shops are allowed to have 500 grams at a maximum of stock in house at any given moment. This is a rule that they're gonna loosen up when the experiment starts. The experiment didn't actually start yet. So
Mhm.
in Breda and Tilburg, these coffee shops are still working with the 500 gram rule while needing to stock both the illegal and the legal stock. This legal stuff comes from a grower that's maybe 2 hours away, needs to come in with uh, like these secured cars and everything, because that's
Mhm.
just how they decided it needed to be. While your illegal weed is just a phone call away and 20 minutes around the corner.
Mhm.
And it can come in how many grams you want, but you have to order 20 grams minimum or 50 grams minimum or 100 grams minimums from the grower. You know,
Mhm.
so it's still a very difficult situation they're in. Um, Something that's also good because now we have like this pre-phase to knock out any problems that or issues that we might encounter in these first weeks and months, because you're definitely gonna have shit. There's always shit when you change something. Things
Mhm.
never go good, you know, never go smooth. So but yeah, it gives a little bit of room for improvement before the actual thing starts. Now we've given some pretty hard feedback to the growers as well. I mean, I'm in touch with a lot of these people. I actually talked to two of the growers, of which the quality was less than I would expect in this experiment.
Mhm.
Um, and I've given them some honest feedback, like this is not what we want to see, and definitely not for these prices. If you want to compete with the illegal market in a few months, then you're gonna have to step up your game, you know. And we made a video about that as well, and a lot of a lot of the short form content that we put out there went viral because people were shocked that, for example, I found a seed in my legal weed. Like
Mhm.
that's that's not what you want or what you expect, right?
Mhm.
I mean, sensimilia is a thing. Like for a while now, you
Yeah.
know, it's been
It,
a thing since the 70s.
yeah, I mean, it creates this kind of artificial binary between the almost the we have there's a TV show in the UK that had I kind of think what the TV show is now. Oh, what the hell is it? Peep Show, called Peep Show on Channel 4. And there's a character on that, and he's a bit of a dodgy guy. And there's a thing that became a meme, and it's basically the secret ingredient is crime. And that's what I hear every time I think of these goddamn things is whenever you put legal and get them nerds involved, all the bureaucrats and, oh, you can't park there, your vehicle's 3 inches from the curb, that kind of person, they don't understand cannabis. They don't understand our culture. They just go, well, here's a giant manual, follow all of these procedures, put no love into it, don't talk to it, don't care about it, don't, actually have that relationship to it. that that's all I'm seeing around these spaces, and it's mental that those people believe that the way to deal with the criminality that arises from them criminalizing us is for them to grow our weed. It's just perplexing. It's so perplexing. It's literally like the experiment should be okay. I appreciate it. It's a good thing you're giving the feedback. But a part of me, a very sinister part of me, is kind of like, what if we don't tell them their shit weed comes, the experiment fails, and we go, oh, got to keep giving it to the lads that have been doing it for 40 years. When it should be, how do we make the lads that have got it right now not be criminals. If they want that opportunity, if they're not doing other things like, human trafficking, I'm not saying they are, but human trafficking, like involved in like sex trafficking or violence
Harder
or other drug.
drugs, weapons,
Exactly.
whatever.
If
Yeah.
they're literally just good weed growers, then we should be approaching those people, and it should be like NFL scouts, and it should be like a draft every season, every grow season, where the best growers can come out and these companies bid on them and be like, oh, we what do you want? We'll give you everything. Move to our space and grow our weed. And that it should be a reward for your knowledge and your passion.